Well, welcome back to base camp, WNC. We're on a little bit of an unusual thing that we're on a spring water system that is fed right here through the woods. I'll take you on a little bit of a trip. But at some point in time, they said they had problem with the spring water, so they had a well drilled. And I want to show you this thing in that the well, according to the well tag, said it did 5 gallons per minute, but the well was never hooked to the house. It is plumbed into the cistern right here. Some new people are buying it, and actually there's a couple wells, because one does 0.3 gallons per minute, and one does 0.4 gallons per minute, not 5. My usual complaint about integrity of well drillers. But they have both of them hooked here, and we'll take you up and show them to you, because they actually have water control devices on them, just like I just posted. But both of them, if you see here at the end of the tape measure, is hooked to this float. So when the spring water system goes down, the float turns sideways, if I can get it to work, and then the wells come on. Kind of an, not necessarily a unique thing, but this is about the way to do it. But I'll show you the spring water system coming into the tank, and then when this thing is down about 250 gallons or so, the wells are allowed to come on. When that float falls over, the wells come on and put a surge in, and I'll take you up and show you how they've rigged the wells. Well, I wanted to take a quick shot to show you this thing right there from here to here. But they have a massive retaining wall of railroad ties all built here, and the cistern tank is sitting inside this thing. The one people said it's a 1,500 gallon tank. I don't see a drain coming out here. I haven't really gotten into the poison ivy and whatnot to see it, but this kind of leads to tell me that the property's got a lot of rock on it, so they couldn't dig down and put the tank in. They built a retaining wall and enclosed the tank in it so it wouldn't freeze. Well, this is, and you can see part of it up here, this is the overflow from the other tank coming here. This is the line coming into, let me spin you around, not get you sick, but it goes over. Right there is the spring box. This is the reservoir tank in that railroad tie wall. And then the overflow comes back out. And right there's the overflow coming out of this tank. And if I remember correctly, it's like 2.34 gallons per minute coming out of the overflow. So that's the spring water part of this system. Like I said, they get it from the neighbors. Neighbor's property is up here, and I'll take you over there and show that to you. But they just capture the overflow from the original owner's property. We're over here at the landowner that actually owns the spring, and this is one I rebuilt years ago, and it did fall into disrepair because the man who owned it passed away. And I believe it was going through probate and all the other good stuff with the court and family settling who's doing what and getting it. When the man finally ended up that he got this property, I rebuilt the spring that's up here, and the pipe was laying down and it would freeze, so we put it in a steel pipe so it would be straight across the creek. But underneath this black EDPM tarp is a 1,000-gallon concrete tank. And the neighbor that we were just on, he gets, this is the overflow, and this is the overflow that's going into his tank. And this is, you can see it right here, and it goes up in the woods, and his tank is right over there somewhere. And it's customary in the mountains. That piece of property over there was sold off of this one. So I guess the man sold them the lot and the overflow of the tank. Does it need to be redone? Yes, I can see where either it broke or something, and the joints must not be glued. They must just be taped. There's a few things like that around there. That line probably needs to be redone, but we redid this system because the man who owned the property had an above ground tank right here that of course froze and broke because he was only here spring, summer, and fall. He was never here in the wintertime. He went to Florida. So they said the water had run out in the summertime, which was hard for me to believe because the man only lived here spring, summer, and fall. But I think what really happened was the spring got in disrepair and the water wasn't flowing into this tank. If it didn't flow into this tank, they didn't get it that way, and that's when they started drilling wells. Well, this is the first well. This is well number 1. I won't show you the person who actually drilled it or put it in, but according to their information, it does 5 gallons a minute. They just came out, another well service came out, and this well here does 0.4 gallons per minute. And they said there's part of the problems, things aren't working right. Well, in the control board on the thing, there's mud daubers and cobwebs. So this box may need to be replaced. Once again, very plain and simple. This brand has a sensitivity control there and a time knob. And all this does is it waits for the well to recover for 60 minutes. Is where it's set at. Right there, almost 60 minutes. And then that waits for the water level to come back up 60 minutes. And when that float down in the tank is down, this one comes back on and pumps down that 60 minutes of water that it is accumulated. Well, here we are again. This is up at well number 2, drilled by a different company. Come on, why aren't you focusing? And you can see the green lights on saying it's ready to go. And we take the screw out of this here compartment. And we got bees nest and everything else living there. Well, here's the code for it, depending on what number you set it on. Right here is the little dial indicator. It is set on number 6, which is every 32 minutes it comes on. So it is set for every 32 minutes. So when the float, of course, on this one falls over, it pumps 9 gallons of water in the well and then shuts off. Just as a side note, I see the well driller, whoever attempted to hook this thing up, had a hole knocked out and just put some tape over it. Well, it's got hornets building a nest in it. And that's why it's kind of important to put the proper plugs and do something a little bit better than what a piece of tape will handle. And once again, this well just pumps down the hill into the reservoir. So between the other one doing 0.4, this one doing 0.3 at 0.7 gallons a minute, if you can capture it all. And of course, 1,440 minutes is what's in a 24-hour day. The tank would still be receiving 1,008 gallons per minute, which is, of course, more than enough to live on. But these people are buying the property and they've never been around wells or spring water system. That's kind of why we're doing this whole thing. But it's just kind of odd that 2 wells are hooked in tandem to slave that water cistern that is fed by the spring. Well, that right there is the roof of the water cistern tank. And this is the only pressure tank. It comes in right down here at the house. Comes up, goes through water softeners, conditioners, a filter, a UV light, which is blinking all kind of red stuff, so it hasn't been serviced in quite a while. Like I said, this house, the owner passed away. So this kind of ends the video. Tried to show you, this is country living, so if you get water from your neighbor, maybe you need to help them take care of it. It's customary, if two of you are on it, to pay half the expense of it if you ever have to do anything. But this one right here has a water conditioning service, so they already got somebody coming out doing things and changing filters probably. But if you have any questions, leave comments. And as usual, like it, share it, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.